jetzt wieder. Okay, so neue Haare. Hier mit meinem Let's Play von Ace Attorney Investigations Prosecutor's Pass. Beim letzten Mal haben wir uns das Geschoss drüber angeguckt. Und ja, da ist vermutlich der Mord passiert. So, ich kann nicht sprechen. Ja, mein Hals tut weh. So, ja. Jetzt sind wir hier gelandet über den geheimen Aufzug. Na dann. 5. April, 7:43 Uhr, Grand Tower, PIC Meeting Room. Wow. Mr. Edgeworth! Da. This place is this the auction hall? No, it's the meeting room from before. How nice of you to drop in, Carrie Faraday. Es ist jetzt nicht der Moment, um so süß zu lächeln. You've got some guts. Hey you, guys, arrest her! Arrest her! Wait, Caius. As for the rest of the riffraff, just show them out the door. This is tyranny! Yeah, it's tyranny, pal. Miles, this is kinda bad. The light of justice shines above. Ah! Ouch! Why, me too? Oh, that's strange. I was aiming for that weak ex-prosecutor. You were clearly aiming at me! Maybe something got in my way. Particularly... Yeah! Right around there. Ach, Franzi. Und da ist sie wieder. Franziska to the rescue. Oh, girl. Du bist und bleibst ein Badass. Franziska. Just what do you think you're doing here, ex-prosecutor Miles Edgeworth? I do not believe that Kay is the culprit behind this incident. You're just an ordinary man without investigation rights. What you say does not matter. I am Franziska von Karma. I will never stop moving forward. However, you choose to quit. The outcome of our battle has already been decided. I cast away my badge, because it became a millstone around my neck. I shall continue moving forward, even without it. The path I walk will surely lead to the truth. My actions are driven by that belief, and that is something which will never change. So you're saying that you found a path to the truth? Then show it to me. But if that path proves to be a foolish one, it will not survive my whip. Ah ja, Franziska. Wieder ein geistiges Kräftemessen mit dir, Süßen. Okay, bin dabei. The victim used her keycard and entered this room with the culprit. Then the culprit stabbed the victim in the chest with the candelabra, killing her. Shouldn't the latter make it obvious who the culprit is? Of course, the crime scene was right here in this room, the PIC meeting room. The proof is the bloodstain we found here in the meeting room. That settles it, Miles Edgeworth. Miss Von Karma seems really confident, doesn't she? Ah, I see. She's a fiery one, isn't she? I don't mind a feisty cutie. So how about introduction? Ah! Das war wohl ein Nein. How repulsive. Well, Miles Edgeworth, can you break my logic? If you truly have no intention of stopping her, prove it to me with evidence. Very well. I'll show you, Franziska. The evidence that paves my path. Paves my path? Was ist das denn? What the fuck? Wer hat sich solche Sätze ausgedacht? Entkräftung! Franziskas Logic. Dann wollen wir doch mal, denn wir haben doch schon etwas. Schon der Lecker mega kaputt ist. Proof is the blood stain we found here in the meeting room. Ja, was das angeht. Wo haben wir es denn? Hier! Wir haben doch noch Blut auf diesem geheimen Aufzug gefunden. Yeah, bitch! If memory serves me correctly, the blood in the meeting room was found in front of the statue of Lady Justice, was it not? To murder someone before Lady Justice, this culprit knows no fear. I wonder about that. Have a look at this piece of evidence. Blood was found in the storeroom right above the meeting room. As you can see, there are signs that it has dripped down onto the floor below. And right under the hidden lift is the statue of Lady Justice. Then you understand. The murder did not take place here. The killer murdered the victim in the storeroom and then moved the body to this room. What Lady Justice witnessed was a coward trying to conceal their crime, and not the moment of the murder. She's smiling? Pardon me, I just remembered a conversation quite similar to this one. As I expected, Miles Edgeworth. Such naivete couldn't possibly be an act. Just how is Mr. Edgeworth naive? Ow! Have you forgotten? Or are you just playing the foolish fool? The amount of blood in the meeting room is clearly greater than in the storeroom. Oh, please don't just hit me. Ow! Such a large amount of blood couldn't have simply dripped from the floor above. And even if it had, there should have been much more blood left behind in the storeroom. The murder could not have occurred anywhere other than this meeting room. You're as predictable as always, Franziska. What? The difference in the amount of blood is just as you say. The question is, why does such a difference exist? That issue is trivial. I've already explained it with my perfect logic. In that case, how do you explain the blood that was found in the storeroom? I don't suppose you're going to tell me that it somehow sprayed all the way up there. Like a water fountain? No way! Exactly, it's impossible. In other words, the reason for the difference in the amount of blood is... The amount of blood in the meeting room and the storeroom are different because... Ja, also, wenn man halt das Stöpselprinzip nimmt, wenn man genau an dieser Stelle einfach die Waffe rauszieht. The victim died of a stab wound. Naturally, there would be a significant amount of blood loss. That's obvious just from looking at the blood stain. But that's so weird! She was attacked in the storeroom, but there was less blood found than there. Ow! Silence, you third-rate prosecutor. But I'm the best! Ow! Do you know when you lose the most blood after getting stabbed with a sharp object? Ah, I know! It's when the sharp object is pulled out, right? Precisely. After being stabbed with the candelabra, the body was moved to the meeting room. And then the murder weapon was pulled out right here in this very room. That would account of the difference in the amount of blood that was left behind. But why would the culprit go through all that trouble? Most likely to give the impression that the murder occurred in the meeting room. It seems Miss Crane's keycard was used last night. But based on the time of use, it must have been a ploy by the culprit to mislead us. In all likelihood, it was the culprit who used the keycard to enter the meeting room. Why would the culprit have needed to do that? Perhaps they feared that the storeroom would be found out during the investigation. If they were involved in the auction, they would not have wanted it to become public. Das macht durchaus alles Sinn. The auction, you say? Perhaps you should go upstairs and see for yourself what items are on display. I'm sure that will allow you to understand what occurred here. Impressive, Miles Edgeworth. You're willing to go that far to protect her? There's something big lurking behind the scenes of this case. Kay simply got caught up in it. You're exaggerating. Am I now? More than anyone. I would think you'd understand the significance behind all this. Why would you, a prosecutor working with Interpol, be involved in a domestic case? Wasn't your objective to crush a certain international smuggling ring? If your search for smuggled goods has led you here, then isn't this feeling I have related to the case? I'm relieved. You haven't lost your touch, even though you've turned in your badge. I've heard about your situation, from Scruffy over there. Sorry sir, I just wanted to help out somehow. Na, ist okay. Franziska kann man vertrauen. Sie ist zwar schlagfreudig wie immer und Perfektionismus ist manchmal so eine Sache, aber man kann ihr vertrauen. A wise decision, Detective. Franziska, are you the one in charge of this case? Isn't Interpol pursuing the black market auction? And what if I am? That's not something you need to know. So you knew about all this from the very beginning. You knew the black market auction was being held right here. Hey, mind if I butt in? About that girl who turned up dead. You! Hey, I am not talking yet! Hey, I changed the lick! This case doesn't need even a fragment of your faulty testimony. We say I'm a bone fighter now! Back then, you gave false testimony. Miss Karma seems to really dislike Lotta. I can't say she's fond of her. Ain't the Crane gal cunt from the PIC members? She's the spitting image of Conductor. I reckon she's... Ew! She hit me! She hit me again! What is the meaning of this? Answer me, Miles Edgeworth! From Miss Hart's testimony, we obtained a description of what the Conductor was wearing. And it matches what the victim, Jill Crane, was wearing. You mean to say the one who was murdered was the Conductor? Miss Karma, maybe you should go out! It would seem that a new fact has been brought to light. Indeed, I came here in pursuit of the black market auction. In order to arrest the organizer of the event. In other words, the Conductor. If we believe Miss Hart's testimony, then the Conductor is already dead. Wouldn't this mean that your investigation has ended in vain? That's right. However, I swear on my name that I will not return empty-handed. I challenge you, Miles Edgeworth! A challenge is fine, but why is she re-dyeing her whip like she's out of a victim of her own? Ach, kennst doch Franzi! Sie will spielen! I will concede your argument. The murder occurred in the storeroom, correct? That would mean the culprit is someone who participated in the auction. If that photographer is correct, the victim was the conductor and the culprit was a customer. The culprit waited for the victim in the storeroom, where the goods were delivered. Then they stabbed the victim in the chest with the candelabra in the storeroom. That is all. I trust you have no objections. Unfortunately, that is not the case, because there's a hole in your testimony. As expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I didn't notice anything at all. Well then, please settle this with one blow. Yes, of course. Watch as I crush her logic. Okay, then let's do this. Entkräftung! Franziska's Logic Part 2. Musik ist gut. Wo ist es denn? Okay. Miss Hart was in the storeroom at the time. Could the culprit really have been waiting there? I don't know where she was hiding, but since you've seen it, you must know as well. There are numerous hiding places in that storeroom. So the culprit was hiding while they waited for the victim to arrive. I believe the crime occurred after the auction ended. After all, the victim was the organizer of the auction, the conductor. During the auction, the organizer would have to be in front of the customers the entire time. After the auction ended. Please add that statement to your testimony. I believe the crime occurred after the auction ended. Ja, das stimmt nicht so ganz. Jetzt brauche ich nur noch die richtige Aussage. Was haben wir da? 11 people attended and the auction continued, even after Jill Crane's murder. As I thought, you are one step behind. What did you say? The victim was not the conductor, and I have proof. Miss Hart's testimony. That photographer's testimony is not trustworthy. What are you all saying? I'm a boy vow! Cease your idle chatter. Ow! Franziska, calm down and listen. Miss Hart witnessed a part of the murder. The main point here is that after witnessing the murder, she says the auction continued. That's right. Sure as it can be. They all just kept going on shamelessly. Do you think the auction could have continued without someone conducting it? If the victim was not the conductor, the person killed must have been a customer. No! As I said from the beginning, Kay is not the culprit. After all, she herself was attacked by someone and lost consciousness. In which case, that would also make her a victim. If the auction continued after the incident occurred. Yes, and the victim was not the conductor, but a customer. That's enough! That voice. Ja, hi, Courtney. Dich wollte ich auch unbedingt wiedersehen. Order in the court. The chairman will now enter. My, no need to be so stiff. Actually, feel free to call me Blazy. Well then, Blazy, what brings you here? Ich glaub, du warst nicht gemeint, the best. Das ist immerhin dein Vater, du Idiot. Huh? Well, just wanted to see if my idiot son was working hard, so. Is this kind of father-son relationship really healthy? I had come to light a fire under you, but it seems I found an unexpected bonus. The think that the criminal who has become the talk of the town would be here of all places? Everyone, restrain the suspect at once. Please wait, Care Faraday is not the— Silence! Alter! Junge! Du fackelst ja doch gleich deinen Bart ab! This is quite troubling, Miles Edgeworth. Didn't I tell you earlier? The PIC desires a swift resolution to this case. If it's not, we could lose our trust with the public. They'd call us the waste of time community. You know, it's troubling for me as well, that sort of thing. And my age too. And on top of that, an illegal investigation is not something that I can overlook. Have you forgotten? You are no longer a prosecutor. You have lost all your authority. Furthermore, you have aided a criminal in evading the law. Yes, that's right. You're so reliable, Courtney. I'm aware of the consequences of my actions. You may punish me as you wish. However, you have found a new suspect. It's the person pictured here. Kay Faraday was attacked by this person and... There is no need for your explanation. Just recently, a red raincoat was discovered in the vicinity of this building. The victim's blood and cherry blossom petals were found on the hood. Cherry blossom petals. Now that you mention it, on the viewing platform. Yes, they probably stuck on due to the blood. They were littered around the bloodstain. And we've received a forensic report on the blood, you know. There's no doubt about it. The person in that photo is the victim, Jill Crane. What did you say? Impossible! That would completely destroy the foundation of our logic! We had believed the person in the red coat was the culprit. And now it turns out that person is actually the murder victim. Wait, if that's the case, then the prime suspect would be... Miss Faraday, you met a person in a red raincoat on the rooftop, did you not? Yes, I did, but... The person in the red raincoat was the murder victim. And Kay Faraday came into contact with that person. Since one of the parties is now dead, what happened next should be clear. Kay was attacked by that person! As the victim, it would be impossible for her to be the culprit. There is no evidence she was attacked, is there? Furthermore, we must consider the possibility that the victim fought back. It's far too early to come to that conclusion. Kay is not a criminal. You're wrong. Kay? That's wrong. Even though I don't want to believe it myself. After hearing about the raincoat, I finally remembered. I only remember a little, but from what I saw that night, the culprit is me. I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth, it was me! The culprit was me all along. That can't be right! Then why? Why do I have that memory? That person collapsed before my eyes, engulfed in a pool of blood! Why didn't I do anything? It must have been because I killed her. It is clear to me the validity of Kay Faraday's memory. Did you doubt it until just now, pal? Congratulations, Miss Faraday. Your courage will surely allow you to be forgiven. Now let us rejoice in the blessings of the goddess of love. Allow me to give my opinion as the international prosecutor. Her actions as a criminal are... Hurry, arrest Kay Faraday at once. How dare you behave that way before me? You're being too forceful. Further verification is necessary. I'd even go so far to say this is unlawful. Unfortunately, the law does not side with you. It sides with me, you see. But you know, the beautiful bond between you two has been etched deeply into my heart. That reminds me, we seem to have forgotten one additional suspect. Edgeworth, that's you. What's that, pal? Mr. Edgeworth hasn't done anything wrong! I beg to differ. That's right, you see. He's no longer a prosecutor, sadly enough. Your actions have gone too far this time. An illegal investigation and assisting in the escape of a criminal. I cannot even think of you as a former prosecutor. Now, humbly accept your punishment. Oh yes, that's right. I believe the plan for today was to hold your hearing before the PIC. Why don't we leave the hearing for tomorrow? Even though the result is already crystal clear. You should think long and hard about what you've done. Very long and very hard. Court is now adjourned. Ja, wunderschön gesagt, Courtney. Du Schlampe. Aber gut, dass sie das jetzt auch gebracht hat, diesen Gag. Weil dann kann ich ja jetzt den Part beenden und wir wachen im Gefängnis auf. Fick dich! Egal ob positiv oder negativ, Bewertung immer gern gesehen, ob was mal setzt. Wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Sehr geil.